I'm a microbiologist, an intern, and I also have this project under the microscope. So it depends with what needs to be done at that time, and I check which one can wait, which one takes priority, and I go with that first. But my thing is, when I'm doing one thing, I put my everything into it.
My name is Winnie Kamau, and I'm a data journalist. And also I head the Association of Freelance Journalists. So a data journalist is one who takes numbers and makes sense out of it, in the sense of using facts and figures to tell stories.
I work at Biologist Lancet Kenya. I head the molecular department. I'm also in school doing my MSc in molecular science at Cambridge Graduate School, which is in collaboration with Techie University.
Captain on the Boeing 737. Flew for the airline for 13 years. From there I ran my own company. I fly also to keep my license current for Dalo Airlines, which is still a 737-300.
Day-to-day work is basically building tech for the future, and basically looking at how do we expand our transforming lives mantra into the next 3, 5, and 10 years, such that we are still relevant in a world that is becoming increasingly digital.
I got into this field with the aim of saving lives and improving lives. I lost my mother due to a medical condition, and that inspired me to get into this field.
I was good at maths, all the important ones, good at maths, chemistry, and physics. I didn't make a grade to go into university, and I was heartbroken. But I feel like the most amazing thing happened is when I applied to universities, and they were just, in the same way they were starting the programs, they were starting the pre-university programs. I worked so hard. I got straight A's forever.
When I was young, I wanted to be a neurosurgeon, actually. I did my KCSE, though it wasn't the best to get into medicine. I decided to fall back into something else, a medical field. So I ended up in medical lab science, bachelor science in KU from 2012 to 2016, where I did my attachments at Lancet and other hospitals. Then I decided to further to go on and get my dream of actually becoming a scientist one day. I'm hoping I'll get to be a molecular scientist.
I did IT, and then I went to journalism school, and I studied journalism. And then for the longest time I worked as a camera person and also a reporter at KTN. Then I moved from there, and I landed myself at on a course for being offered by European Journalism Center alongside internews, and that's where my data skills came up.
I can say I have 2 types of days. The days when I'm flying, depending if it's an early morning flight, the night before I have to sleep early so that I can get good night's rest. Once I get to the airport, it's just the typical thing. Get to the aircraft, you have to make sure that the aircraft is serviceable. and then just go through the weather for the routing that you're taking. Is the weather okay for taking off and for landing? The beauty of that job, there are no 2 days that's the same. If I flew to Mombasa yesterday, I can't assume that today everything will be the same. The weather may have changed, the winds may have changed. It may be bumpy on the level that I was in yesterday that wasn't too bumpy. So the only things I have to look at, I have to make sure that the airport is open, the security where we are going. And yeah, then the next thing is just ask for permission to be able to take off. And it's just a beautiful, enjoy the scenery up there. If there's no weather, if there's weather, we'll spend it dodging it, which is actually fun sometimes. And then once you get to the destination, the beauty of that job, once you're there, you're like a tourist.
Typical day starts, say, by 6 a.m. I'm on the road if I have early meetings. And then I get to do stories, I get to edit stories, which I'm sent for, and also get to look at data sets, go combing for data sets that can really make up a story. And being an editor and also the president of Association of Freelance Journalists, there's also need for me to network and meet different people.
I'm a morning person, so it depends. I can wake up at 2:30, 3:30. I read, because my brain is fresh at that time, and I cook. From there, I leave the house because I'm doing my internship at the Institute of Climate Research, which is on the other side of town. I leave the house at 5:30, get to the research center, get some lab work done. Lunchtime, I can get some Skype call or video WhatsApp call with someone I'm trying to collaborate with. And in the evening, sometimes I meet my mentor and then go back home, check what I did during the day, eat, sleep as early as I can.
My typical day starts at around 4:30 in the morning. I wake up. If I feel like doing workouts, I do them. If at some other time I don't actually feel like doing it, it's okay not to. So I work out, then I shower, and I'm out of the house by 5:30 in the morning. I get to work at around 6:10. I start off with my work the whole day. I patient samples. Then my day ends at around 4-5. I get to class. If I have pending assignments, I do them. I get to class. Then I have classes from 5:30 to 8 daily. That's what I do.
And one of the questions I get from a lot of people is, how do you manage stress? I run. And running for me is like therapeutic. I always tell people, the farther I run, the more stressed I am.
When I was still full-time with Kenya Airways, could be a bit hectic. So that balance you're talking about, I had to sit down and look for that balance. So I just told myself the day I land from a flight, that is my day. I am not going to wake up and try and run and hustle and do other things. And then for, let's say, if I have a 2-day off, I will maybe dedicate 1 day to the office, and then the other day I'll try and see, maybe I can work half day, and then the other time I can try and see what it is that I can do in terms of me time. And also now, just be at home, prepare for the family. If I want to make a meal for them, then I would do that. Otherwise, if you take everything to pass, if let's say there's pressure in the office and you take it in, when you go home, you'll have carried the same baggage to the house, and then even now our daughter will suffer because she'll be wondering where the stress came from.
It is fun. I wish somebody had told me that everything I learned from the molecules that I learned in high school, they're called tripet. Those things that you used to mix like this to calculus is stuff in real life. And I mean, I can't blame our education system, but I can blame it on the other hand. I mean, you take responsibility for both. So if at high school I'd been told that me as a teenager who loves wearing lipstick, the lipstick is part of chemistry. Like, chemistry brings your red lipstick to life. I'd have been more interested in wondering how. The moment you tell a teenage girl that lipstick is an outcome of chemistry, I promise you they will learn. Because why? They want to make their own lipstick.
I'm glad that we have Africa Open Data, and we have collaboratives and also Africa Open Data Network, this is where I find different people from from various sectors coming in, and I'm glad I've had the opportunity to be mentored, to listen and to learn from other people.
I think this is something they don't tell you in school or when you're learning, that the role mentorship plays in advancing your career or even as an individual. So I was doing an internship at the Institute of Primate Research, and I was moving to a new department. And I met this lady, Dr. Lucy Ochola, and she told me, I think she saw something in me, and she was like, I can also be your mentor. And I'm like, yeah, you can. And since that day, she's just been pushing me to be the best.
I didn't have anyone to mentor me when I was coming up. So all this, I stumbled, I fell, I picked myself up and I moved on here. So that's the reason why I said, if hindsight, if I had someone who would have talked to me then, it would have saved me a lot of years. And that is why right now I am very intentional on helping younger people, because I give them what I didn't have.
For me at least, I've learned that I mark those points of failure as points of trajectory for me, because they are points of reflection. And if you don't reflect on your failure, you will do the same thing the exact same way and you'll fail enough times. It's like the children of Israel, you'll go round and round until you learn your lesson.
Just to tell other women out there, you can actually have your work, school, have kids and still enjoy yourself, and still have some left to treat yourself, to actually have your own space, your own time of being yourself and trying to discover yourself daily, because we are changing every single day. Challenges in life change us, they shape us. So finding the balance between you or your family, your work, it can be hectic, but you still have to find time for yourself. So for me, finding time for myself, my happiness is important. At least being selfish with yourself sometimes.
I can say right now there's a change, but of course we'd like for it to become more than what you're seeing. When I joined the airline, we were less than 10 lady pilots, and Captain Mutungi Koki was the first lady pilot, and she was alone for 7 years in the airline, which was a long time. By the time I was leaving, we were 42 in the airline, but in terms of percentage, it was still less than 10%, because the overall we were like 550 pilots, so that's slightly less than 10%. With that, nowadays I see more women talking, writing to me, asking for mentorship, and you can see they're actually coming up, not just in the world of as a pilot in the cockpit, but even as engineers. You're seeing a lot of them are actually coming up, which is a good thing.
These technical women is what we need to actually change the face of science and maths. But they have to be women who practice it. It's okay to talk about it, and I love the evangelists who are awesome in getting more girls in. But the moment a woman sees me tinkering with a product and like arguing with those engineers, like from a technical point of view, then they say like, oh, she's a girl. Oh, she can argue with the boys. On a technical issues, even me, I can do it. And so for me, it's about increasing the number of technical women. We are better than where we are. There are many times I'll go into a meeting, I'm the only female. I'm thinking, guy, this is going to be an uphill task. But nowadays when you come, and even if it's a younger woman, your voice there is to encourage the younger woman to speak out and speak up. Because I realize even me, somebody else helped me speak up. So when I'm in meetings, when I'm alone, I speak loudly. I make sure I sit at the center of the room, not at the top. No, at the very center of the table, so that you have no doubt who is speaking. Front, back, center, everybody is saying. And when there's another girl in the room, I make sure that our voice is collectively heard. And if she's much younger than me, I make sure she's heard more than me, because I don't want her voice to be drowned by my voice, because she has something equally as powerful to contribute into the conversation.
There aren't enough females, because gone is the day whereby we say that female is more of are better at social sciences and businesses. I think the problem is just mentorship and role models. We don't showcase what females do out here. They're there, but we don't see them. So they are super stars in this world of science, but we just need to see more of them.
young women thinking or seeing other women and wanting to do science, it's not actually hard. It's so easy. Feed your focus, look at mentors around you. It actually works. At the end of the day, it's worth it.